Hello everyone, how are you doing today? We are from Group G and now we are going to talk about teaching writing using technology. And our group members are me, Natallia, Arum, Cintia, and also Kevin. Enjoy!
Hello guys, I'm Cintia. I will explain to you guys what is writing. According to Tide 1989 verse 1 and Maggie Sokolic 2003, writing is a method, a physical act of expressing ideas into a medium and aims to impress the readers. From the point of purpose, as we can see here, writing is both to express the idea or opinion and also serve to impress the readers. So, do we need writing skill in this digital era? Of course, yes, we need. Writing skills become increasingly important nowadays since information exchange become one of the human needs. A bunch of information can be obtained through pieces of writing by means of internet. Thus, English writing proficiency becomes one of the requirements of globalization era when the information exchange among the countries in the world is conducted by the interaction of written forms. According to Hyland 2009, approaches to L2 writing have focused on three main ideas. The first one is product approach, which is the learners produce the actual piece of writing and it concentrates on the language use and organization of the ideas. The second one is process approach, which is the process of learners undertake to produce a piece of writing. The third one is social practice approach, which is how the writers engages with the audience in a social context. So the learners need to combine all three approaches together in order to become a proficient writers, and the approaches also tend to overlap. So now, as we can see in the table, those three approaches have different goal, focus, and also types of activity. Writing as product, the goal is produce new scripts. Writing as process, the goals are brainstorming, outlining, drafting, reviewing, revising, and editing. Writing as social practice, the goal is just writing with the target readers. Next, focus. Writing as product focus on the language use and the organization of the ideas. Writing as process focus on the process of writing. And writing as social practice focus on social purpose of the writing. And the last types of activity. In writing as product, we let the students analyze the language and organization of the text model. And in writing as process, we get students go through some steps of producing a good composition. And last, in writing as social practice, we let students analyze the genre to give students a sense of expectation of the readers in particular contexts.
How does technology help EFL students write? The first one is product approach. OWL or Online Writing Lab has been around to help writers produce pieces of composition in any form. One of the most well-known is the Purdue University OWL, which has been in existence since 1995. Some of the useful materials that are provided include exercises on spelling, punctuation, sentence structure, vocabulary, and summarizing or paraphrasing. There are also frameworks which help the learners with the organization of genre. One way to introduce the OWL to a class might be to get them to explore and evaluate the resources. The second one is process approach. Process approach gets students to brainstorm ideas, make outline, draft text, then ask others to read and comment, and at the end, edit and revise the content. The editing and revising are repeated until the writers produce the expected result. To help teachers and students to go through this process, countless of papers are used until reaching the final version of the writing. In this modern era, we can utilize technology in order to get assignment done paperless. To support educators all over the world in the last 6 years, and as part of its Google for Education program, Google has released some applications which can be used by teachers to enhance their technology-based teaching and learning. These include Gmail, Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Sheet, Google Talk, Google Classroom, and many others. The following table explains how this application can be used particularly in teaching writing. First is brainstorming. We can use Google Search, Google Scholar, Google Drive, and other tools. We can use Padlet, Bubble.us, and Poplet. Second is outlining. We can use Google Slides and Google Form. And also, we can use other tools like readwriting.com and also Twitter. Third is drafting. We can use Google Docs, OneNote, and Evernote. Fourth is reviewing. We can use comment feature on Google Docs, Google Classroom, forum in LMS, Blogspot, Wattpad, and Kaizena. And then the last one is revising and editing. We can use spelling and grammar checker, Grammarly, and also Turnitin.
Now, I'm going to talk about Google applications that can help teachers in teaching writing. So there are many kinds of Google applications, right? Such as Gmail, Google Drive, Google Documents, and still many other applications. And Google application is very easy to be used. The first one you need to do is setting up and register on your Google account. To be able to use Google Apps for education, the first important thing you need to do is that you must have a Google account or Gmail. You may use your personal Gmail to sign in. This is like a key to access all Google applications. You can sign up for free. Signing up is an easy process. Once you have a Google account, you can access and use all Google applications on your smartphone or tablet. Stage 2. Use Google application to locate and store references. So you can use Google applications such as Google Search, Google Scholar, or Google Drive. A good writing starts with a good reading. To be able to write a good piece of writing, a writer needs to be able to locate relevant references to support their arguments. Google Search will help learners find the information related to the topic they are writing. And Google Scholar will help learners obtain resources from scholarly journals. Once they have already gathered the information, they can store and manage their files into Google Drive, then start brainstorming. Students can also do mind mapping using some application like Padlet, Bulb.us, or Poplet. With Google Drive, students have at least 15 GB free storage if they work with their personal Gmail account. With this relatively big storage, students can save lots of files, and the files will remain exist as long as they keep the account. They can manage their own folders. They can update any files at any time from any devices as long as they are connected to the internet. Stage 3 is Google Slide and Google Form to make an outline. Once ideas have been set, learners can try to organize the ideas into an outline or framework using Google Slides. Google Slides help learners to jot down important parts of the composition which they will develop into a piece of writing. Teachers can also help students by providing guiding or prompt questions to students using Google Form. And teachers can give feedback for their submitted outline prior to the development of the ideas.
Now, stage 4, drafting using Google Docs. With Google Docs, students can write their draft based on the outline they have written previously. Google Doc will automatically save the writings in every 2 seconds, so the student do not need to worry about losing their files. Next is stage 5, reviewing using Google Classroom or comment feature on Google Docs. Students can also easily share their file, teacher or their friends with Google Classroom or Google Docs. Google Classroom is a handy application that can be used by the teacher to manage his or her class online. This is like a virtual class where teachers can communicate with the student online. Now, stage 6, revising and editing using Google Docs. After students receive feedback from their friends, they can start revising and editing online. The importance of peer editing or peer feedback in the process of teaching writing has been mentioned by many researchers and practitioners in the field of teaching.
That's all the presentation from us. Thank you everyone for listening. Goodbye.